Hello everybody, my name is Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage, where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video is my cash envelope setup for 2023, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. Regular viewers will know that I, until fairly recently, have always used the cash envelope method as a way of keeping track of my spending. So alongside my budget planner, these cash envelopes have absolutely transformed my finances, and so I really want to get back into it for the next year because I do find it helpful, and because my budget is now so tight, I feel like this will be going back to, I guess going back to basics and really kind of making it obvious as to what I'm spending and where it goes and things, because to be honest, I've kind of lost that over the last few months because of everything else that's going on. It's all about being survival, but I need to get back on track and figure out everything else. So this binder is just from Amazon. Do you like my Christmas nose, by the way? This is my attempt at having Christmas in nose. I don't feel particularly Christmassy, but that's what I've done. But this binder is from Amazon, and I'll leave a link below to that, as are the envelopes. And these have changed slightly from last year, and I've also made them again so they look much more neat. But here we go. So I've got, how many have I got? 1, 2, yeah, how many have I got? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 6. I had 5 last time I did these. I've got 6 now. I've kind of changed a couple of categories to make them slightly easier, and also to kind of separate the different spending so that it's more obvious when I do my budget planner where things go. So the first one is obviously food. Food is going to be something that I'm going to find really tricky to keep on top of next year, because every time I go to the supermarket it feels like things have gone up in price again and again. And I used to be a massive fan of Morrison's, but to be honest I don't think I can afford to shop there anymore, so I've been shopping more at Asda, and I have popped into Lidl and Aldi a couple of times, but if you know me you'll know that I do not like get shopping there because I find it really stressful, but the prices are a lot cheaper, so I need to figure that out more in 2023. But food is the first one. My food budget is also going to have to be much lower because there just isn't, I can't, you know, there's 3 of us, I can't cut it back that much, but at the same time I need to because I don't have any money. So the first one is food. The next one is petrol. So lots of people commented on my budget with me for December video on how much I spend on my petrol, and you know, I am very much aware that I spend quite a lot on petrol, although it has come down recently, as in the price of petrol. And people have said like you need to get a job that's closer to you or whatever. I appreciate the comments, and I know that that would make more sense, but it's not as straightforward as that. And so petrol is quite a big expense in my budget, and I know that, but my car gets me to work and back, and the kids to school and back. So petrol is obviously quite a big part of my budget, and I realise that, and I don't really know, other than like you say, it's not as simple as just getting another job close at home. It isn't, and there are lots of complicating factors as to why that isn't possible, and I am aware of that, and I just need to make the petrol budget work for us, and well, and for me, but for us as well. The next one, so this is where this changes. So the third one before used to be miscellaneous, but I have actually separated out. So the third one now is household, so things like cleaning stuff, anything that fits in the household category, toilet rolls, kitchen roll, washing powder, washing up liquid, anything like that goes or will now go in this household envelope. And the reason why I've separated them out is because I was trying to work something out the other day, and then I realised that I actually couldn't think of a number. I don't know quite how much I spend on like different things because everything is merged into that miscellaneous envelope, and it actually wasn't that helpful because I couldn't work out something, and I wanted to project kind of how much I would need in certain categories. So I've been doing my kind of yearly budget for next year, and I talked about that in my Preparing Your Finances for 2023 video, so have a look at that if you've not watched it, because preparing your budget for a whole year and looking at projections of things is a really useful exercise to do. Anyway, so I kind of decided on the back of doing that spreadsheet and then that video that I would separate my categories slightly differently. So household is that one, and that's kind of all things to do household. And then this is the new one. So if you're new here, I've got 2 cats, and I thought actually their spends used to be in the miscellaneous envelope, and I just get mainly their food from that. But I actually wanted to track how much the cats are costing me, because not that I'm gonna do anything with them or whatever, but it's useful to know in terms of how much they cost and how much I need to prepare for things like that. So they've got an envelope of their own, and I don't expect particularly to put lots of money in that every week. I don't, because they don't cost a lot really. They just have wet food and dry food, and that's pretty much it until, you know, they get their annual checkups and things. But they've got their own envelope now, so that's the new one. The next one is children. I've just updated I've updated them all just to make them look a bit better, and actually I'm going to put all of these cash envelope designs on my Etsy store, so look out for those. But the next one is children, and I've put a little gaming thing because they're obsessed with games at the moment. The Super Mario theme, I should say, is a constant sound in my house at the moment. But I've got them. I always have an envelope for the children's budget. If you've watched me before, you know that. I don't know how much I'll be able to put in this every week, but when it's a normal week where we're, you know, they're at school and we're at work, it shouldn't really cost me very much anyway, so we'll see how that goes. And then the final one is eating out. Now, I debated on whether to have an eating out envelope, and the reason for that is that I've done my budget for next year and there is just no room for spare anything at all. So eating out, there is an eating out envelope, obviously you can see it. The chances of us actually using that envelope very often are probably pretty slim. And when I say us, I mean me and my 2 children. The money just isn't there, but at the same time I wanted to put that there so that at the end of the week, if there's anything spare in, like the food, maybe the food one, maybe say there's a £5 note spare in here and I'm not going to put it in a savings challenge, I might then put that £5 in eating out and kind of have a bit of a, like a spare money from these might roll into this. That was kind of my thinking behind that. So especially if there's leftover in the food, and maybe even household, could then roll over into this one so that we might get a bit of a treat at some point. But it's kind of planning for, so eating out now is going to be a luxury and it's one that I can't afford. But hopefully over the long term, when we've got things or this system set up slightly better, because I've not used cash envelopes in a while now, but I love them and they make it so much easier. Once I've got this and my head around this again, I'm hoping that this will be filled, not from a weekly budget point of view, but from kind of leftovers, I guess you'd call them, from these. So I have 6 cash envelopes that I'm going to use every single week in my setup, and they are eating out, children, cats. By the way, neither of my cats look like this. My cats, so one's like black and white and the other one's kind of, I don't know, like tortoiseshell. I don't know how you explain her colouring, but I thought that cat was quite cute. Anyway, household, petrol and food, and they are my cash envelopes for 2023. So do you use the cash envelope system, or is there something that holds you back from using that? Let me know in the comments how you're getting on. What are your categories if you use it? I'd love to know what you find in your weekly cash envelopes and how they work for you. And as always, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate every single view. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you again very soon.